back. I hope that you are feeling a haul and a first impressions today because I have a lot of makeup to put on my face. So this haul came about because I was lucky enough to be part of the Westfield Parramatta Vlogger Lounge event. I was there with the absolutely beautiful Amber Renee fashion stylist. I also got to meet some of you guys, which was so surreal, and I would love to do something like that again in future. Public service announcement to Sydney-siders. If you haven't been to Westfield Parramatta in a while, I suggest you go. It is huge, makeup in abundance. So I did a bit of the old shopping trip, did some decent hauling. I started off in David Jones, which is the home of Chanel, Dior, Lancome, aka makeup lovers paradise. It was at DJ's that I purchased the Dior Pore Minimizing Matte Primer. I'm going to pop a bit of that around the nose, anywhere where I have some visible pores. All of a sudden, I'm really into primers. I'm now determined to try them all. And this one is quite a velvety silicone primer, but it's very lightweight. So that seems to have set entirely and my skin feels quite smooth and velvety. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Chanel Original Vita Lumiere. Can you believe that I have never tried this? Where have I been? The sales assistant was kind enough to give me a sample of this in the correct shade, which is always nice. I'm going to press that into the face like I did in my Skin Like foundation routine. I'll link that somewhere on the screen. So I'm thinking this is quite a dewy foundation and it has what I would call a sheer to medium coverage. It is buildable. So I've given myself quite a sheer coverage today, but that foundation is beautiful and I can totally see why it's a cult classic, very skin-like and quite dewy. I am going to set the central portions of my face, Maybelline Fit Me 120. I'm going to complete the complexion and the concealer a little later on, but let's get on to the eyes. Now, I didn't know this, but Westfield Parramatta has a Mecca Maxima. Quite possibly my favorite place on earth. It is the Australian equivalent of Sephora. So at Mecca Maxima, they sell Bobbi Brown, and I picked up the Long Wear Cream Eyeshadow in the color Bone. I have seen the lovely Chloe Morello use this, and I thought I would give it a go. Okay, so now onto the brows. We're going back to David Jones here. I picked up the Chanel Brow Trio. Now, this really spoke to me because the shades are very ashy and grey, and I love an ashy brow. I'm going to try using this middle shade here with a damp brush, and we'll see how we go. The mirror in this compact is kind of tripping me out. It's like major magnification. Oh my God, I can see every hair on my face. So that's one brow done. What do you guys think of this? I think I kind of love it. It's very ashy. The product was very pigmented. I'm going to go ahead and do the other brow. I will be right back. So the brows are done. Now I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. And this is another Mecca Maxima purchase. It's the Hourglass Modernist eyeshadow palette in Infinity. Now I did some research and the reviews for these palettes are quite mixed. So if you own any of them, then definitely leave me a comment and tell me what you think. I'd be curious. This one I really chose because it has so many matte shades and it swatches absolutely beautiful. I'm going to start with this Dusty Rose shade. I'm picking that up on a crease brush and just buffing it onto my wrist so that I evenly distribute the products on the brush. And I'm going to start building some depth here through the socket. Another message for my Australians. Mecca Maxima will be stocking Urban Decay from March 27 onwards. So that's really exciting because I feel like we have been waiting for Urban Decay for years, possibly like a decade. So Mecca Maxima, March 27, go check it out. On the same brush, I'm taking this slightly deeper, cooler brown and further defining the socket. So far, these eyeshadows are blending so beautifully. I don't even have to work. I'm just swishing back and forth and they're just sort of blending themselves. I'm confused at how these got mediocre reviews. I think they're beautiful. Sometimes when I go to blend those upper edges of my eyeshadow and socket gradient, what I actually do is I tilt my head back and I place my brush sort of vertically, so facing the ceiling, and I buff that way. I found that this actually really helps to diffuse those edges, so give it a go if you haven't already. Because I'm trying to avoid cleaning my brushes, I'm going to use the same brush yet again and take this very dark, cool brown eyeshadow. And I'm just lightly swirling this on the outer corners to build a bit of depth. I find this placement is really flattering on my eye shape, which is a little bit hooded, maybe a bit of a heavy lid. Guys, I am loving this color story, this sort of dusty rose with some cooler browns. I love that. Now I'm going to take the One Shimmery shadow on a flat shader brush. Now this is one of those shades that's like, are you purple or are you brown? Yeah, so this shade does kick up quite a lot of powder when you touch the pan, and I'm getting a little bit of fallout, but that's why I left my concealer until last. No big deal. I wonder if you could use this shade wet. I'm gonna try that. I'm just wetting my brush here, a bit of water. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Highly recommend using this shade wet. Stunning. And you don't get any fallout that way either. Win-win. And let's pop on a bit of under eye concealer. Today I'm using the Clinique Airbrush concealer. And this one can be purchased from DJs in those inner corners. And maybe a little bit of my cheeks because they're kind of red. I think it's because it's quite warm today. Australia's at that awkward stage where it's like, is it summer? Is it autumn? Is it muggy? I don't know. And just dabbing that in with a finger. I'm taking a smudge brush now and our initial medium brown shade and running that along the lower lash line. And I'll take a little bit of that darkest brown as well, just at the outer corners, and connect that towards our dark upper shading. And just to quickly finish off the eyes, I'm taking our lightest sort of creamy bone shade and running that around the tear duct, just to illuminate the area. Make me look a little bit more awake. I had the worst sleep last night. I'm doing some kind of, not renovations, but I'm switching up my house a little bit. And the contractors arrived too early. I actually think that that's perhaps the only thing worse than arriving really late, is arriving really early. Why do people do that? Oh, I can't handle it. Okay, let's move on to the eyeliner. I have a new one. Hang on. Ding! It's the Chanel. Not going to pronounce it, I'm putting it on the screen. I purchased this because of Stephanie Lang. She's another makeup artist here on YouTube. I'm going to link her down below. You guys should check her out, especially if you have hooded eyelids. She is the authority on hooded eyelids. And she really likes this eyeliner, so I'm going to give it a go. I'm just going to use this to tightline the upper lash line. Nothing too crazy today, keeping it really simple. Very nice. I like this eyeliner a lot. Well done, Stephanie. You're the bomb. Shall I add some false lashes? I wear false lashes in almost every tutorial. Does that bother you guys? I just get excited. I get so overexcited and I want to put on lashes. Maybe I'll put on just a few at the outer corner. These are the EYLURE individual lashes. And I love these, the Pro Lash. I love these because they don't have knots. They're knot free, so they blend really well with the natural lash bed. I purchased these at Priceline on the day. There is a Priceline in Westfield Parramatta. Love me a bit of Priceline. That's where we get all the awesome drugstore stuff. You guys probably can't even tell that I put on lashes. It's just a few at the outer corners to give my eyes a bit of that almond lift. Now, continuing on with the Priceline Pharmacy theme, I have here the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Eau de Soleil. Probably mispronounced that, which is a liquid bronzer. And I'm thinking that maybe this will be similar to the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel Bronze Universel and whatever they've called it in the past 10 years. I'm going to take a little bit of that on the back of my hand. Ooh, okay, it's runny. Is that dark? Okay, so this is quite dark. Let's start slow. I'm going to place this just around the kind of my hairline and the perimeters of my face. Ooh, this is nice. It does have that silicone slip, that almost moussey velvety texture that we see in the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel Bronze Universal. I have here one of the new NARS, can I still call them new? They're a few months old now. The NARS Audacious lipstick, and this is in Anita, which is a really interesting, deepened, dusty rose with a warm undertone. So very trendy right now, and I think that this will pair really nicely with the eyeshadows. And I was right. This is the perfect pairing with this eye, I think. Now I don't have a blush to wear today, but I think I'm going to get a little bit creative. So I'm going to take that lipstick that I used on my lips and rub a little bit on the back of my hand and a little bit of our foundation that we used earlier for our face. Mix them together on some sort of brush, buff it until the product is pretty much dry. And this is actually a good way to coordinate your lip color with your blush if you're not really sure. Essentially, you're just introducing a little bit of that tone onto the cheeks. And the reason that I've mixed it here with the foundation is because I have flushed cheeks. And sometimes when I use cream products on my cheeks, it can shift my base. And this maintains the coverage where I need it. Lucky last step, I'm taking Le Volume de Chanel mascara from Chanel. The sales assistant at Chanel actually gave me a sample size, and I love her for that because sample sizes are my favorite. They dry out that little bit faster, and I prefer drier formulas, so awesome. So I've gone ahead and taken out my hair. It is totally unstyled because this is me we're talking about. Now that I'm looking at the makeup, I think that this would be a really pretty bridal look. If you wanted something a little bit sultry and perhaps on that dusty mauve side, I think this is a very pretty makeup. I really like how it came out, and I pretty much loved everything, which is not a surprise because I researched like a lunatic. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you all very soon. Bye-bye. That was a really strange bye-bye. Let's try that again. Bye-bye. No. Bye-bye. No. This is getting stranger. Bye.